So you really do have a bunch of themes in this guide, and the Samsung theme store is just packed to the gills with a bunch of themes. You can theme out everything on this guide, even your icons. So that's really nice, and I've really been using the crap out of that, if I must say so myself. I'm a big black fan. I like black, high contrast colors. So yeah. And pretty much everything else, it has your split screen, all that good stuff. Now, what else is nice is that Samsung built in a performance mode into this guy, and they do have gaming software, so you can record your games straight from your device. It does the display on your screen, and it also does the audio. So there was that, and I did test it out. Now, I had not posted any of those videos, but I did test it out, and I think it was actually pretty good. But other than that, you have your typical Android 7.0 nougat on this guy with TouchWiz over top. I don't think they upgraded this one to their Grace UI or whatever they're going to call it, the Samsung experience. It's still TouchWiz, guys. So it's 7.0 nougat with TouchWiz on top. And I have to tell you guys, now, yes, Samsung devices do incorporate a lot of lag over time, but I gotta tell you guys, in terms of software and fluidity, it has been a very fluid experience. Switching between apps and multitasking has been very fluid, and I do get some occasional app slowdown, but it's nothing that takes away from the user experience. So I have to say, software wise, Samsung did a pretty good job. Alright, so that pretty much covers the hardware and software, guys. Now let's keep it moving. Up next, let's talk about the Wi-Fi in this guy. Now, in terms of Wi-Fi, this guy has Wi-Fi 802.11 BGNN and AC. What does that mean? That means that this guy can take advantage of the 2.4 gigahertz band and the 5 gigahertz band Wi-Fi wherever applicable. Okay? And in terms of Wi-Fi, guys, I've been getting some pretty decent speeds regardless of where I am. And in terms of data, the speeds haven't been the best, but everything still works. In terms of a data perspective, when using this on mobile data, I haven't picked up the best speeds, but I had no issues with turn-by-turn navigation, text messages, streaming YouTube out on the go, playing Pandora, watching Netflix. I had no issues with that type of performance over mobile data. So yes, these data scores are kind of low, but it hasn't been an issue, and the Wi-Fi, as I've said, seems to be on point. Now, up next, let me pull up a video for you guys. This way you can get a real life sample of the Wi-Fi, and I do believe I have some non-copyrighted or royalty-free music up here, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that up. And there you go, it is royalty free. Just wanted y'all to see that. Bam. And this will also double as a speaker test. So let me go ahead and make sure that speaker is maxed out, and we're gonna push play. Enjoy, guys. Alright, so there you go. Real quick Wi-Fi test, real quick speaker test for you guys as well. And you know, guys, in terms of the built-in speaker, when we talk about consuming media, I would have to say it's good. It's good. Now, it's not the best, and it is down firing, which means it's easy to muffle. Y'all already know my preference when it comes to speakers. Now, I prefer they be on the front and facing at you, but for a down firing speaker, it does a good job. Now, it does distort a little bit on the top end, but overall, I have to say it does a pretty good job. Now, moving on, next thing I want to talk about with you guys is the LTE and the bands supported in this guy. Now, as I've said, this is a Verizon model, so you do have all of your Verizon bands, but you do also have all of your LTE bands as well. So let me pull this up so you guys can see, and we'll talk about these bands here. So this is the bands for, I believe this is the regular S6. So not as many bands as this guy here, but when it comes to the regular S6, you have LTE band support for the following: band 2, band 3, band 4, band 5, band 7, band 12, band 17, band 18, band 19, band 26, so on and so forth. You have all of your GSM bands, all of your HSPA plus and 3G bands and 2G bands as well. So as long as your carrier supports those bands and you have a G6, it's not a problem. Now, stepping it up, if you go to the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge, you get a little bit more bands here. Still similarly the same, but you get a touch more bands. Alright? You get band 20 in there. Don't think you had band 20 in the last one. And then, jumping up to the creme de la creme, the big boy here, if you go to the S6 Edge Plus, you get that plethora of bands here. Let me see, it kind of disappeared. Now it won't expand. It was just showing. Let me refresh the page. See if it pops back up. There you go. So when we talk about the S6 Edge Plus, you have all of these LTE bands. Keep in mind, it still is carrier dependent, because you know, for this model of S6, they came out with a bunch of these on all the different carriers. But if you pick up the S6 Edge Plus, out of the box, you should have this level of band support. So specifically, when it comes to the LTE bands, you have band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4, band 5, band 7, band 12, band 17, band 18, band 19, band 26, band 28, band 40, band 12, band 18, and this just folds over to some of the other carriers as well. So you get a ton more bands if you go with the S6 Edge Plus, but I just wanted to cover all the band support throughout all the different models of this guy. So y'all got all the band coverage from the S6 to the S6 Edge to the S6 Edge Plus right here. So as long as your carrier supports those bands, you should be good to go. And as I've said, if you pick up a Verizon model, it should just work out of the box. You shouldn't have to mess around with APNs. But if you do, they're not that hard to find, and it's actually very easy to do. So that pretty much covers the bands on this guy, as well as the other generations or other models of this guy as well. Now, moving on, let's talk about the Bluetooth in this guy. Now, Bluetooth wise, this guy has Bluetooth 4.1 technology in it. And I gotta tell you guys, from a Bluetooth perspective, I've had no issues. I've connected this guy up to a ton of things. I've connected it up to my Bluetooth speakers, iHip, Jam Replay, ton of things. My Hesh 2 headphones, my Terragrade earbuds, my of course earbuds, even my X2T wireless earbuds, and I've had no issues. And one of the neat things that I like about the Bluetooth in particular with Samsung devices is that whenever you connect up a pair of headphones or a pair of Bluetooth headphones with supported codecs, you can actually tweak the audio experience of the connected headphones. If you go in here to sounds and notifications and you go to audio effects, and you can tweak this. You can tweak this regularly without anything connected, but you get just that more control when you connect up audio devices. So you could do a concert style, you can do an amp pro style here, you could do surround sound, all that good stuff, and you could set it up for adaptive and tweak it really to your heart's content. And I really do enjoy that, having that built in out of the box, not having to go and find other software on the App Store to do something similar to this. I really like that. So again, Samsung did a great job, and again, the Bluetooth overall has been a very solid experience. Up next I want to talk about with you guys is the GPS on this guy. And now you guys know this is one of my most important sections because your boy is very GPS dependent. And I'm proud to report, guys, that the GPS on this guy is solid. I've had no issues. Turn by turn navigation and anything that had to do